Hello and welcome to some more Counter-Strike 2. I know it's been a while since we've had a game live on stream, but we're back and with a very impressive Seawolves CS2 team. I'm Kevin Broderick, joined by Christopher Yang on this Friday night. And Chris, it's been what, like a month since we've had a CS stream?
Yeah,
It's been too long.
we missed 3 weeks. A few delays or different things haven't occurred. But since then, impressive scoring by the
Yeah,
Seawolves.
I have it right in front of me. They beat JMU 2-0 to start off the season, then U Toledo 2-0 as well. That's the game that we were able to cast. They then went on to beat WSU Counter-Strike 2-0 before losing to Fisher. The only loss they have so far this season, that was also 2-0. So they've dropped 2 maps in this entire season. And Chris, there's a little bit of a caveat right there because Fisher does have 2 players from the old Fnatic Academy squad. So yes, that does mean that they were legitimate professional Counter-Strike players in Europe, which, if you know anything about the Counter-Strike scene at all, Europeans are traditionally better than North Americans. It is what it is, kind of like every other video game, except, Europe and Counter-Strike is like Korea or China
Yeah,
of every
of
other game.
League of Legends or
Of
anything.
Valorant,
Yeah.
of League of Legends, of actually
Yeah.
Dota is a little bit
Dota.
competitive.
Yeah.
Dota's like a little bit between, but I digress.
Yes.
Next, they beat RIT Orange 2-0, and that is where they leave us with a 4-1 record on the season. Again, only dropping a series to Fisher, who is 5-1. If you're wondering where Fisher lost to, they forfeited. Why? Probably got IT problems. Who knows? It's collegiate esports. It does happen, unfortunately. Although it doesn't happen to the Seawolves. They are a well-run franchise and organization, of course. And outside of that, they find themselves now once again playing the James Madison University Dukes. That is their current matchup, and it's kind of expected that they 2-0 this again.
Yeah, and I mean, like they burst. Seawolves burst onto the scene first 2-0. Of the semester of this season.
Yep.
And honestly, they just the Seawolves have been looking fine. They haven't really missed any games so far, and they've just been practicing consistently, keeping up that attitude. And honestly, I'm just excited for some CS after a long
Yeah,
while.
yeah. So Mirage will be our first map, Chris. It's
Yes.
more of a default heavy map.
Right.
And I just want to know your opinions about just the state of Mirage in general, because generally people have strong opinions about Mirage. I love Mirage. I'm a Mirage enthusiast. I play too many maps of Mirage. In fact, a lot of the time I play Counter-Strike, I only play Mirage.
Right.
So I want to get an unbiased opinion. What do you feel about the map? Do you think it's kind of a little outdated? Do you think it's stale? Do you think it could use some changes? Or do you still think it's fine for the competitive meta where we see it?
I think if anything, Mirage is very much kind of a little bit of a sniper territory. But if anything, like at the same time, it's just if you want to say if it's like an older or staler map, talk about Dust 2 for that. That will be coming up in a potential
Well,
game 3.
in all fairness, Dust 2 has had a few more changes in recent years. Obviously, you think
Right.
the double doors over towards the B site. That
Right.
was a change. You have to think about the mid.
Right.
Those doors got... I don't think those doors got
Right.
inverse, but obviously you had that little hangover at the top of
Right.
T spawn added in. So
A site also had the box added.
yeah, and there's been a little bit more changes to Dust 2 than to Mirage, but enough from us. We're going to see Mirage live now as we get into game with the pistol round. One more thing that we have to note before we actually see any action. No Dax today. Is replaced by the coach of the Seawolves, so a little bit, and just a little bit, of a different lineup coming in. But again, really shouldn't matter all too much as we see it start off right away with the knife round. Of course, this will decide who starts on what side, but generally in the best of 3, the knife round for the first 2 maps are just a formality, and you have the set, of who's going where. You pick, if it's the other team's map, you pick what side you want to start on. If it's your map, the other team picks what side they want to start on. Typically, Mirage is considered a CT-sided map, but again, it's just been such a well-played map that it doesn't particularly matter. And I would be fine to see the Seawolves start on either side, to be frank.
Yeah, and of course, if they start on T side, they just need to get a few rounds to not create too big of a deficit, and then otherwise they're on that CT sided map, or they decide to go CT and get a larger advantage in rounds early. And the Seawolves decide to keep to the same. The Seawolves decide to take T side. It's looking like. As we get into this game, round starts in 3 seconds. And so Seawolves actually take CT, my bad. And it's going to be 3 on B, checking to see if there's a push coming out from Apps.
It's going to be a quick take over towards the underpass, looking like a mid-split into A would be the right call, as the Seawolves don't really have a lot of players over towards that side of the map right now.
Yeah, none of the Seawolves are on the A site, actually. They're back over by the boxes or in jungle.
Taking a couple of pot shots to start off, and the mid push is coming in as well, but Mabel Weston's going to find the first one. Getting tagged and gushed right now. He will fall in the back of jungle, which leaves it into a 4-on-4. His teammates now making the rotates over. Bomb will go down on A site to start off. It'll be a 4-on-4 retake. Good shots coming out so far from the Dukes, looking towards jungle as well. Now, unfortunately, it looks like we don't have the names going, so it's just the colors going down. Unfortunately, we don't know the gamer profiles well enough to know what's going on. So, nonetheless, Seawolves into a 1-on-3. Looking to push over towards the back of site, and they will go down. Opening round secured by the Dukes. It will go up 1-0 after the pistol.
And that's just... It's just kind of considered a 50-50. The pistol round, Seawolves going to be a little bit on the back foot in terms of economy now. But definitely, it's always just a little watch. They'll probably keep saving, trying to get some money, and you can see on the side of JMU that they just full buy Galils, grenades, full armor for some of the.
Stony Brook going for a quick cat push, and this is probably going to get lit up right away by those rifles, and it will. JMU making quick work of the round to go up 2-0. Full save coming out from the Seawolves, so nothing really to complain about. Bucket getting the most eco frags for his team, and we're into the gun rounds now. Chris?
The Seawolves, at this point, they just have to full buy, see if they can actually play out a full round. But, I mean, it is just utility, not completely full coming out from Digimon, coming out with the MP9, but otherwise it seems to be a very balanced in both sides in terms of eco. See that they can slow them down with some of the grenades, some of the incendiaries, smokes.
I don't mind Digimon going for the MP9 as we get a little bit of a fight out towards mid. Stank will pick up the first one onto Small Rad. Looking for another fight towards mid. Mabel Weston will pick up a second one. The Seawolves making use of those swing fights, just not a lot of utility to back it up. We are seeing a little bit of a lurk out from Farg onto Digimon. That will come up positive for him as the connector split coming in. One tap for one. There's a second one as those audio cues were there, and it's Bucket in connector with Bomb. That's a very awkward position for him to be. Top clearing the corner so far. Obviously will lose out on this fight, but spots him first going for the headshot, and Top gets it. AK secured as well. Stony Brook 3-on-1. They know where the bomb is, should be sending rotates over. And Farg is changing his position right now. Was the player lurking out from A, but Top looks like he knows the better for it. Looking for the mid fight, just jiggle peeking for a second in the re-swing. He'll find Farg, and it will be 2-1. Stony Brook, convincing first gun round coming out for them.
And it's just looking pretty good for the Stony Brook Seawolves. They win that gunfight, making sure that they don't really have to buy too many guns afterwards. You can see that JMU is just kind of not really panicking either. They've had a decent amount of they have enough money to buy again, and these grenades are really what's important here. Making sure that they slow down on the entry, and JMU decides to go mid.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a light buy, so Stank will swing out for his eco kills, just trying to boost up that ADR as much as he can. Mabel Weston contributing as well. Is a hero AK coming out from Farg? I don't think that's going to particularly do too much, as he's already lost Bomb and just hiding in the cubby towards the mid side. Probably will get cleared out by Stony Brook eventually. Stank Found to the inverse side of boxes towards mid, so I don't think that Farg has an idea that he is there.
Farg
Looking
is
for
just
any
trying
kind
to
of
find a pick here. And then
two
both
headshots potentially lining up as Farg will find both of them. No stank is over, but a secondary swing coming out from one Talp, and he will find that headshot to end the round, tying it up 2-2. I mean, realistically, Stony Brook a little bit upset that they lose 2 rifles right there.
they still win the round, but at the same time, Farg does put a little bit of a hole in that economy. And the JMU, they just decide to go for a little econ. And that's just kind of the swing and balances of the money back and forth. But these rounds have been going by really quick.
Yeah, and you got to mention that Stony Brook is expected to win this by a heavy margin, so the fact that the Dukes can pick up the pistol round is really beneficial for them to get any rounds on the board to start with. It means if they get a reset onto the Seawolves at any point in time, that they'll be in a much better position than they would be if they lost the pistol, because it could easily be 4-0s. A flying headshot coming out from one Top, easy as you like, and Stony Brook will go back to winning ways, now up in the map 3-2, and economy finally back for the Dukes. They can look for a gun round eventually. And Chris, what do you want to see from them coming out into this round? Because they've been losing fights towards mid a lot.
The Dukes just kind of taking it slower. These rounds have been just going by fast. They have just nice 2 rounds on the board anyways. It's not like anything too crazy. They also, they can hold out for getting on that, CT-sided, rounds later on if they switch. So now we just kind of a little bit more slower play. A pick comes out in the mid. Small Rad getting a nice entry frag. Digimon pushing smoke.
Through the smoke. This isn't going to be a good idea as Digi's easily there for it. Not expecting the secondary swing, and now all of a sudden it's a 4-on-2 for the Dukes. A site cracked open, and Stony Brook do have 2 kits coming out from both of the remaining members, so it is a possible retake from Mabel Western working in from the mid side as well, with the coach Lucky coming in from jungle. But obviously the smokes coming out is going to make this one close to an impossibility. A little bit of utility left for Small Rad, using an HE as a flashbang, and Stony Brook will elect for the save, so we will tie up at 3-3 once again. And this time, Stony Brook, they still have enough money easily to buy into the next round, so it's not like the state that the Dukes were in where it's you lose the gun round and you get reset into an eco. Stony Brook can still look to bounce back and get up towards that 4-3 scoreline.
And I just want to note again that their coach, Chris Lucky, is currently playing the game, so they don't really have a coach just to keep the mental, so we'll see how that pushes. This reminds me of the recent G2 where they had to sub in their coach to play the tournament. And so
it happens in professional more than you really would expect it to. I mean, considering that a lot of professional coaches are ex-players themselves, it's something that they can do fairly frequently. I mean, thinking back to Zonic with Astralis, there was some games that he would go in and be like the secondary frag on his entire team, but mid-pressure coming out right away. It's going to be a quick swing from Mabel Weston. Flashes all above him. Will look for one and finds the headshot before getting traded, but has Stank Lord to back him up. Makes it a 2-for-1 trade in the end, and Stony Brook can look to go back with that, but Stank will get one more with the HE to drop it to a 4-on-2 with just 1:30 left in this round. So still plenty of time for the Dukes to look to maneuver, and they will find one back onto Stank, who was still aggressive in mid.
Yeah, bomb dropped mid, so both tees will have to walk over to mid, see if they can pick up the bomb.
The Molotov inside window will make Talb a little bit hesitant to go for the repeat, but looking for it anyway. Scoping up, not going to find the shot. Duke's lucky to get away with that.
But now that now the Seawolves know that they're both mid, so seeing how the Dukes will move into either site, they're looking a little bit towards A, bomb in the connector area, but now they're moving back out of mid, throwing a smoke into connector, bucket, and the Dukes walking onto catwalk, seeing if they can get a nice position.
Bucket will be the first point of entry. Just clearing the ladder, doing his due diligence, now working his way into sight. Talp did gamble correctly as he is in the back towards market, allowing his coach and Lucky to sit behind the van. Talp finds the first, and now Lucky can activate for the second. Spray down, and the coach will get a kill. 4-3 Seawolves. And they once again regained the lead, just like I said. And it's really keeping 3 people alive in all of these rounds has been such a benefit to them to keep the economy where it should be. And on the other side, you know, it's not a perfect place to buy for JMU, as that's why you can see a single AK coming out and the rest of it just backed up by Tech 9s and Mac 10s.
Yeah, and the gun's kind of going a little ring around the rosy, as the other people in the Seawolves can just buy for the people who died the round before. And so now you see the Dukes, they just kind of have Mag 9s, Tech 9s, seeing what they can do, maybe get a pick or two. And they're all in apps at the current moment, so will they rush?
It is Shocker with the AKs, probably going to be the second man in, and here comes the rush, just like you said, Chris. First one belongs to Mabel Weston, looking for a favorable angle into apps, but he's going to get Molotov'd off. Will go over to the USP and finds 2 headshots, looking for a third. Will get it as well onto the body of Franks, throwing out that frag and aim towards Farg, and will reload his clip. Now has plenty of teammates to back him up as well. Realistically, nothing for him to do. Talp, that was a little bit of aggressive from you going forward with the op like that. Does give Farg a chance to get back into this round, although it would be extremely hard. Goes empty on the Tech 9, but so does Stanklord, switching over to the USP. He will find the last headshot required. Stony Brook up 5-3.
And Stony Brook, once again, not having more than 2 people dead, keeping that economy alive. And so now it's just not a good position to look for.
But you really got to mention that Top going forward with the op. That op was lost in the round, so he has to full buy another one. That realistically should not have happened. It was just kind of an over-aggressive mistake, but nonetheless, Stony Brook's still in a completely fine position. Top is just a little bit poorer because of it, down to $700.
Yeah, and the Dukes, you can see their money. There's a little bit of cash hanging around.
Stanklord going for the con fight. Franks spraying him down will get him to 24% HP. The HE will shave a little bit off of it, but Mabel Weston is the first one to open the round. Gets that initial frag over on the bucket. We've seen so much blood spilt towards mid, but it's been Stony Brook coming up on top almost every time.
Yeah, and Stony Brook, a little bit of a rotation coming out towards A. Kind of poising, knowing that there was a lot of blood shedded in mid. Not moving too much, as there hasn't been any signs of the T's as of yet. And so Stanklord watching connector. Does he peek out again? And Small Rad trying to get into...
Top should know he was here from the audio cue. Shocker gets one on the Stanklord. Nice flick from Top, looking for a second fight. Hemming these people in towards Khan. Will find the second one of Frank, still working from the back of jungle. Now getting swarmed a little bit, trying to shoulder peek out. Headshot wall bang as well before getting dropped by Shocker. Talp did everything he needed to in that round, now leaving it up to his final 2 teammates to get this last kill onto Shocker. Lucky in a good spot to try to spot this out, and he'll get the nice angle. Shocker will be dropped, and Stony Brook doubling the round of JMU 6-3.
And Heroics coming out from top, just getting those, just lining up those shots completely, listening to those audio cues. And Talp spinning a little BM in the bottom left corner. Calc is short for calculator.
Just in case you joined the stream.
And across the board, I mean, it looks like the Seawolves are feeling good about this game.
Chris, but do you know what 5 times 50,000 is?
5 times 50,000.
Yeah.
2,000,005.
250,000.
250.
But how can you do that without a calc?
Ah, there we go.
Guys, just in case you joined the stream, calc is short for calculator. I'm using slang, chat.
Chat is
it's
crazy.
just calc is short for calculator. It's slang. It's nothing more.
Right, and
you gotta love the binds coming out from Stony Brook, as they know they were going into an eco round right now, so they can have a little bit of fun, and so can we. As it's kind of a default coming out on an eco round with all Deeg, so I guess they are looking for some fights. It is a 4-on-4 as well, so round could fall apart from Stony Brook if they give their heads up on a silver platter, but it should be easy enough.
Looks good. I mean, I've just been seeing Stony Brook, like, in the beginning of the round, run 2 men, 2 bodies up mid, see if they get, like, 1 or 2 frags, and it's just been kind of working out. And so we have... T's haven't really peeked too much into A site, but we only got 2 Seawolves.
Mabel Weston towards Sandwich is going to get pressured, swinging out for his second one, and gets one from Digimon as well. 2 for 2 on both sides, 7-3 for the Seawolves. They're really mounting a lead in this half.
And that full loss bonus is coming in. you can see how much money that the Dukes have.
Small Red still with it's after the bite of the AK was 1,700. So I stand corrected. He was in a good economic state, but nonetheless, the Seawolves are in a better one because, listen, Talb was down to 700 and had to full buy an off, and now he's back up to 43K. So I mean, that just talks about the economy coming out from the Seawolves.
And it's just looking pretty bad. But I mean, if you're the Dukes, I mean, you just kind of pray that you work it out a little bit better on the CT side. But right now,
Saw the JMU start off the game in underpass. Shocker now going back to it. I think it's the third time that he's shown a little bit of presence towards here. Digimon's going to start it off with a headshot through his smoke. So unfortunate way for Farg to go out, but it's going to be a 4v5 that he leaves his team in.
And all 4 members over at mid, but the bomb was left over at T, so they're going to tell somebody to go grab it up. And the Seawolves, patient as ever, just kind of sitting around watching, waiting to see what the Dukes do.
And again, I don't know why they keep going back to this mid fight that Stony Brook have just gotten the better of them time and time again. They have presence in con and ladder, as well as the op towards the back of spawn. So they have all of these angles cleared. Mabel Weston spotted out. Now he's going to know that a Molotov and HEs are going to be flying in. So he can't really move around too much. And there goes the Molotov, going down to 27 HP. Probably should have stayed in the back of sight, but Stanklord will make up for his teammate's mistake, picking up another headshot, and here comes Mabel Weston in through the smoke, not going to find the kill. 4-on-2 coming up, but Talp will make it an easy 4-on-1, and Digimon will close out the round. Stony Brook still keeping 3 up as they go up 8-3.
Funny little ragdoll coming out at the end.
CS2 mechanics.
Yes, CS2 mechanics. This is reminding me of one of those League of Legends terms where it's just something called NARAM, where North America just constantly goes to the mid lane and just dies. And
God, you love those old TSM teams. 2016 TSM, baby. Those were the times.
Yeah, and you wish it works out, but unfortunately, the definition of insanity is just to keep on doing the same thing, expecting different results, and it's not coming out. And so I like kind of the change-up coming out from the Dukes going
quickly
apps
towards
this time.
B, but they might have been outcalculated because Talp is watching apartments with an op. You do not want to peek into that in Stony Brook. To add up and bolster the defenses, have 2 on B as well. Talp knows the flashes are coming in, finds the first through the smoke, now trying to back up, gets a second one, has support from Mabel Weston spamming down into the apartments. Talp will fall, but it does not matter. Stony Brook going to clean up the round and end the half 9-3.
And just an unfortunate read. They try to switch it up, but Stony Brook, the Seawolves throw 3 onto B site. And this is kind of the matchup that we kind of expected. Stony Brook cleaning up the half 9-3.
Yep.
With only like 2 early round wins from the Dukes. The rest were just wins straight for the Seawolves. And so now that you have to ask, now that things are switched up, both sides switched onto CT and T sides. Can they make it work?
That's the question, but I'm going to go with no because Stony Brook, now that they're on the T side as well, they just have the advantage to dictate the pace of play. And when you have a team that is just simply out-fragging the other one, usually T side is the better side. They're going to go for a 5-man Palace push. May look to waterfall out as well. Bucket's going to need a couple of clean headshots in order to stop this plant from going down, but more than likely will play for the retake. Stony Brook just taking their sweet time in apartments down to 1:20 in the round. And here comes the hit. Digimon first one out with the knife as well. Everyone's going to get out of Palace without falling for a single time. Will push CT right away, but little do they know they're peeking at the 3-player. Shocker with a headshot. Make it 2. And Stony Brook now not in a good place as they keep fighting towards spawn, but will lose a 3rd one. Talp trying to fight it back. Will get 2 for himself, but leaves it into a 1-on-3. Lucky, the coach, everything to do. Will find the first, but can't get the second. Farg with the peek from stairs, and it will be a 10-second stick coming out.
And unfortunate situation for the Dukes, but I mean, they ended up winning the round, which is great. Bomb still comes down though, so I consider it a pretty much just kind of an even economy on both sides. Obviously, the pistol round just kind of there to see if how much money they can get. And so now we kind of have some half buys coming out for the Seawolves.
Importantly, no AKs on the side of the Seawolves, so it's not like they'll have a huge rifle advantage. The Gleals will be worse than the MP9s, but 3 rifles to 2 on the other side. It's really just CS2 economy in a nutshell. Tees can just plant the bomb and get the better because of it. They'll fight towards mid right away. Farg will find a headshot onto Stanklor to start things off, and that's exactly what JMU needed.
And a nice entry frag. Now it's a 4v5. Kind of
Abel Weston getting flashed in, looking for the fight onto Bucket. He'll back around the corner, thankfully. Missing the jump towards mid, or maybe trying to create a miscue. Mabel Weston will start to lurk up Khan now. 3 players on the A site for JMU.
Mabel Western chilling in connector, seeing what they can do, but Digimon also coming down, coming from T. It's looking like an A site rush.
Smallrad in a perfect place for this with the MP9, just firing out a couple of shots downrange. Stony Brook not getting any entry on the site just yet. Farg will take another one onto Digimon through the wall before Top gets 2 back out of nowhere coming in from the connector. Top, they're playing respectful towards him. Shocker not wanting to peek, and Top will back out. Does have bomb as well. It is a plausible 1-on-3, but not a probable one, as Shocker might offer up his head towards mid and gets the fight anyways. One Top will fall down, trying to make something out of the round, but it will be 9-5. Duke's picking up the first 2 of the half.
And a nice good 2 rounds from Duke. Kind of winning the beginning firefight, and then just throwing out grenades, confusing the Seawolves a little bit. But at the same time, you could see the sparks of brilliance coming out from the Seawolves, making some clutch plays down near the ends of the round. So it's not looking anywhere near over, because the Seawolves are still up 4 rounds, but their economy not really in the best place.
Top looking to throw a smoke onto the Molotov. It looks like it will be a quick B play coming out. Top entry fragging with the Deagle, just trying to throw shots in the Shocker, but he'll find a 3K. Shocker with another one on the USP, getting those eco frags easy as you like. Digimon will deny him the ace by going down to Bucket. Scumbag Bucket denying an ace from his teammate, but nonetheless, 9-6. Stony Brook losing the first 3 rounds of the half so far, and now definitely need to look to bounce back with the AK buys.
Yeah, and I mean, it just looks it looks a little dreadful, but at the same time, like, Stony Brook now has a full buy. Tulp getting in that with that op. AKs across the board, grenades also coming in, and so it looks to be even plating. And 4 members for the Seawolves going into mid, so kind of banging on a nice, one or 2 good entry frags, and maybe moving over to B site or A site.
So Stony Brook will go for a bit of a default. Mabel Weston finding a favorable angle onto Smallrad, but doesn't connect on the headshot. 3 still towards mid. And again, got to see how this mid fight's going to go down, Chris, because Stony Brook was getting the better of it on the CT side, but they got to do the same thing here on the T.
And likewise, bomb is still put down. Stanklord kind of eyeing connector, seeing if he can get any picks.
Needs a flash towards Cat, but Frank's falling back into a really strong spot on ladder, swinging out, and he'll find Stanklord. First one going down. Digimon will find a headshot back, and they know where Franks is. Trying to trade him, they'll get him with a lucky the coach. Got to keep saying it, because you got to remember he's not in the normal lineup, but will find a 2K in this round. Plenty of impact coming from him, and his team will find the plant in the meantime. 3-on-2, and Tulp has an op to hold this site.
Just note, though, that one of the Seawolves is back in mid-site.
It is Tulp, so no op on site. He does have to get there eventually, and bomb is not planted for him. It's in default.
So it's kind of a 2-on-2 right now. Smallrad seeing if they can trick him in some audio cues.
But Mabel Weston will pick up the headshot, looking for a second. Digimon will swing out with him. Tulp was coming towards Cat anyways, just as insurance. 10-6, Seawolves back to winning ways, and they're just a couple of rounds away from taking this map.
And now it's just since there's only a few more rounds, the pressure is kind of building up for the Dukes, so maybe just go and full buy. And if they win a few more, like 1 or 2 more rounds, they're just forced to commit every single round, so you do not want to lose at this point in the time.
Especially if you lose this round, Chris, you will get reset going into the next, and then all of a sudden you're facing map points for the rest of the game. And again, it's something that I like to say in Valorant, and something that stays true in CSGO. When you have as much of a lead as the Seawolves do, if you get to a map point, eventually you're just going to trip over the finish line.
Yep. And we'll see. I mean, the Dukes kind of just poising once again, seeing if they can get any frags. But this is one thing I noticed from last round is that the Seawolves kind of throw 1 or 2 people at either site, trying to see if they can get a quick entry frag before regrouping, having that stable hold in the mid area. Seawolves having 4 people in mid, watching every single angle that can possibly happen. Digimon throwing the smoke down connector, a flashbang up into that window, and Digimon
Under a minute to go, Chris, as well.
Yeah, only a minute to go, so they will have to move at some point. Bomb's still over at T.
And Digimon, you see him clearing those angles because he actually doesn't know if they could have lost that side of the map. So Stony Brook, they do have all of mid, but they've sacrificed T-spawn for it. Obviously, JMU haven't taken advantage of that, and Stony Brook look like they're feigning towards an A split here. Comes in from Mabel Weston. Farg will find him first. Top not in a good position with this op, as he obviously can't entry frag, and Farg will find a second from jungle. This round is falling apart now. Top does find a necessary kill, as if he dies, the round goes with him. Coming in from Khan, and that's what I was talking about. As soon as he dies, Bomb is completely lost, and Farg with a huge round, killing 4 opponents in order to keep his team in it. JMU staying alive by the skin of their teeth.
The dude's kind of with the patience of a saint, just making sure. I mean, they just have to come to us, and they just wait. They wait, and the Seawolves just have to push onto that A site. They went out on a few firefights, but otherwise, they just lose all of their members. And look at them, 2 SSGs coming out, 3 Deagles, 2 Deagles, and a P250. So
Top just looking for these tags. Obviously, when you have the Scout Deagle combination, it's I'll tag him, you frag him, but Digimon's just going to do it all himself. Headshot onto Farg, and that was the big player from last round, so Stony Brook into a great spot already. Top looking to take these fights over towards ramp. Smoke off means he'll have to go a little bit further forward and commit to these fights heavily in order to get anything going.
And the Seawolves rotating back towards A, so one going Palace, and the rest maybe he's trying to see if they can get those body shots to work. And the Dukes, they don't know, so they just have...
They have a good setup, though, Chris. 1 in jungle, 1 on site, as well as 1 in window. It can be a very quick rotation coming out from the guy in market as well, so they can do everything necessary. But here comes the hit. Digimon will be the first point of contact from Palace, looking for those headshots, but it's 2 for JMU right away. Make it 4, as the last one left alive is Top. Nothing he can really do with the SSG. Gets 1 more frag onto Bucket, but it's more of a consolation prize, as he's just going to be iced out of this round for the next 45 seconds. A peek coming in from stairs will likely be the end of his life. And JMU, they really do have to keep 3 alive right now. They can't afford to lose another one because the economy is just going to be so much worse with it. And there comes Shocker with the headshot over the Apex boxes. And 8-10, this game is really starting to tighten up.
Yeah, and the rounds kind of coming back. This is not what you expect out of this matchup. And honestly, making for quite an exciting map. The Seawolves seeing if they can clutch up. As you said, they can maybe trip over 1 or 2 more rounds. But look at their economy. They lose this round, and it's another half buy. It's another eco to just kind of give up another round. So we will see how this one goes.
It's another default coming out from them. 3 towards mid, 1 apps, 1 towards the ramp side of A. Stanklord could fight a little bit of a headshot coming on to Shocker if he gets the timing right, but Shocker will do exactly as he needs to. HE out will take 24 points of damage off. And that's it for the B side of the play. Obviously, that's pretty much everything you expect coming out from a default. Stanklord will more than likely go to the underpass, but Mabel Weston starting it off, and A site looks very, very open for Stony Brook, as someone is already towards Sandwich, and I don't think JMU has any idea that they're there.
Yeah, and a nice entry frag coming out.
Con hit coming as well. Mabel Weston will find a second one, this time through a wall, and Stony Brook is exploding onto the A site. 3 unanswered kills, make it 4 with Lucky getting another headshot, and they just completely decimated this round.
Shocker gets 1 tapped by Mabel Western, and so that is that team ace coming out for the Seawolves. And right as we said that it might be close, the round lead, the Seawolves win another round. And so 1 top, a little bit of BM coming out from the bottom. Mabel fastest is in the Western. And that's just kind of it was interesting to see if he didn't save or not near that at the end of the round. It was a 1v5, but now we just go back to Eco.
Not the full eco coming out because a couple of members from JMU had enough money for a light buy, and it's 5 Deegs across the board, so it's still potentially dangerous. Digimon playing on the edge of that danger right now, spawning out another one towards CT spawn. So they know there's a lot there, but Digimon does not care. 2 headshots, and he'll crack the site open. No Shocker is more than likely on an angle somewhere around here. Headshot angle for him, not going to find the mark. And Stony Brook will close out the round 12-8, 1 away from taking the map. And you got to mention, because JMU saved, they have a better buy coming into this round, and because of that, they have a competitive chance.
And it's just kind of the age-long question. Do you decide to just maybe full buy before that match point in order to try to get a few more rounds, or you just eco and pray that you have the money to win each consecutive round going on in the fourth? And now the Dukes, they just have to win this. But look at the Seawolves. They decide 4 people going into apps, 1 person going to mid.
Top will be the first point of contact, and he'll take him down. Shocker dropped immediately, and Stony Brook are going to explode behind it. 1 player over towards Cat, doesn't matter. 1 top will find him as well, and is now holding the market rotate. The op on the entry kills. You don't expect it. It's not normal, but top will find a 3rd. Doing everything his team needs to ice out this game and look for the first map forward. Over towards Apartments, what do you got? It's 1 kill onto Lucky. Coach down, but Digimon will find another one before top closes it out. Stony Brook taking map 1 at 13-8. Not exactly the cleanest victory in the world, but they get it done nonetheless, and that's all that really matters. Now 1 map away from another 2-0 and a 5-1 record. Keep it right here on the Stony Brook Esports Twitch page for the second map, as we got to see, can Stony Brook do it? Can they get another 2-0? Because, hey, they're flawless against everyone but Fisher. And like I said, it's only going to be a little bit of a short break, so stick around for map 2. And we are back just like that with map 2 coming out. Anubis is the pick, and that will be potentially where JMU's fate is decided, as Stony Brook did 2-0 them earlier in the regular season. 4-1 right now, trying to make it 5-1. And we're going to get right into the knife round to decide, again, who's going to be starting on which side. It's just a formality until map 3, in which then it actually matters. And that never really made any sense to me of going for the knife to decide the map. But hey, I guess it's equal as a coin flip, maybe a little bit more skill. And with that, Chris, wasn't the cleanest game coming out from the Seawolves, but nonetheless, a win is a win.
Yeah, some signs of life, some signs of brilliance coming out from the Dukes. But I mean, at the same time, it just the Seawolves having they kind of lost a lot of those rounds in the second half as the Dukes take the CT side, and so now will we have a similar situation here? The Seawolves deciding to take the T side first, and so going into the second half, they will take the CT side, and it gives you a good question of like, you know, I guess they prioritize the early. I mean, even if you decide that you're going to be really good, well, if you know that you're just better overall at fragging and things like that, it just shows some signs of confidence that they'll be able to win a lot of T rounds and then just transfer it directly over to the CT rounds. And now they're just full W Warriors going down to A site.
Going to meet 3 people right away upon this entry, so the round is going to be decided very quickly. Stony Brook running through a Molotov as well. Small Rag going to start it off with Franks, and it's just going to be blown up from JMU. Winning another pistol round in the series. I think that's 3 for 3 now.
Yep.
So Stony Brook falling on every pistol round. It's a bit of a trend between Stony Brook CS and Stony Brook Valorant. It happens a lot, I feel.
But they always they usually tend to carve it back in the second half or the beginning. One thing I wanted to note was that they just ran into 2 Deagles. Sorry, not 2 Deagles. 2 double
Dual Berettas.
Dual Berettas, and they just got sprayed down.
Yep.
And so now the Seawolves half buy, full buy, considering that they don't have any money.
It's just going to be right back towards A. It's just a train of 4 players going in. JMU needs to dump their utility down right away, but Mabel Western will start it off with a headshot from the Tech 9. It rings for a second one as well. Bucket will fall, and Stony Brook onto the site into a 5-on-3 with the bomb planted right away. Just aggression towards this A side. Now, you got to mention, no kits coming out from JMU, so it's going to have to be a 10-second defuse, and realistically, stalling this to wait out the smoke, I don't know if they're going to have enough time to dig out all 5 players from the Seawolves. They're getting flanks going as well through CT spawn, so it's so well set up. But Franks will start it off. One top going for a kill, and that will be traded out instantly, so it's down to a 3-on-2. Stony Brook banded the flank coming in from CT spawn, and the far will find another one in Stanklor. Mabel Weston, the difference maker, another headshot from the Tech 9. And like I said, no kits, 10-second defuse. It's just going to be too long, and Stony Brook will eco them in the second round to tie it up 1-1.
And Mabel Western getting 4 kills, being very much of a difference maker there. And they just say rush A and go completely towards A. Run W Warriors, trying to make sure that they get those entry frags. Just so many bodies. Even if they get 1 entry frag, there will be another body there to back it up. And so now we have a full buy coming out from the Seawolves, and just kind of a small buy coming out from the Dukes. And now there's a little bit more of spread out play, no more rush A's. Seawolves kind of doing a default 1 to A, but the Dukes having 3 coming out of A long.
5-7 on a little bit of range onto Stanklor. That's going to be a bad start for the Seawolves, but Top will trade it back onto Franks, and now it's the easy B site take for them as everyone else was towards this A site, and realistically so, but shocker, another one on the 5-7, another headshot, and the Seawolves are once again put into a bad situation. Wowza coming up from one tap in the chat. Bomb goes down nonetheless. They do have 3 rifles on these remaining players, but JMU have picked up 1 themselves. Maybe Weston might go for a little bit of a peek on this corner. Frag has a nice angle, but Stony Brook with 3 in succession just like that. Close out the round as Bucket's the only one left, and Mabel Weston will pick up the final headshot, and Seawolves up 2-1, trying to make it 3 right away. Listen, sometimes winning the pistol round is worse if you lose the second round than just losing the pistol round off the rip, because now instead of a 2-0 you get your rifles back, you're going to be in a 3-1 and then buying the rifles.
Yeah. It's almost as if losing is a bad thing. And so we'll...
Hey, I mean, you got to play the economy game. It really does matter.
Yeah, and they play it really nicely. At first, it seems like some turmoil in that first pick. Another kind of default situation. Gunfight comes out. Nice. Two
coach
nice
for
frags.
2. Nice from him. And it's going to be an easy round for the Seawolves if they just... I mean, in all fairness, it was easy to begin with. We're freaking about eco frags, but nonetheless, it is the coach, Digimon, coming through the doors, and he makes it look easy as well. Obviously,
Digimon, 2
a player,
frags.
so I don't give him as much credit, Chris. He's not the coach.
Right? And I mean, and then another frag coming out from.
I mean, does that one even? He only got one.
Right.
I mean,
of course,
come on.
of course, and of course, it's Chris. Coach Chris coming in saying, "All right, team, let's do X, Y, and Z. Get on my back. I got this." Make some nice. 2 great entry frags coming in.
Chris, do you have a telekinetic link with him since he's also named Chris?
Of course. I mean, like, it's just, down in the Chris networks, you sense another Chris, and what I'm hearing from Chris's mind right now is just let's keep it calm and steady. Let's make this game fun and entertaining for all people, and make sure that in the end, no matter how many rounds we lose, we end up getting that dub. And so, onto site. Frag comes out from Farg.
Nice headshot onto Mabel Weston, so it's going to put things in an interesting position as Stony Brook are going for a default, do get the trade back, but it's instantly traded once more, so JMU doing a good job of not letting this default get the better of them. Small Rad in an awkward position as Top is coming in, Small Rad finds it anyways. Now Lucky's just going to have to spam through this smoke, but realistically there's nothing left for him to do behind it. Nice Molotov to force him out of position, but Lucky will go down to Franks, and it's left into a 4-on-1. Round 5, more than likely going the way of the Dukes.
And the last member of the Seawolves only has HP left, and do they want to save? And it's not looking like it. He's just slowly making his way onto the A site and gets 1 frag.
Nice shot from Digimon. Makes it a little bit interesting. If he can find a couple more of those, he might end up winning the round as well. Gets the plant down, so at the very least, it's a lot more money for Stony Brook. Goes for the aggression. Obviously, you got to make a difference at some point in the round, but Farg will catch him out in the mid-air, and it becomes a 3-2 game.
Right. And if plant still comes down, that still means the money situation is still pretty decent. I mean, you look across the board, the Seawolves still have a lot of money across, but it's looking, the Dukes finally have some space to work with. If they lose the next round, they still have money to buy. And so now we have a nice even 3-2 situation for both teams. Not the best, not the worst for either.
Definitely recovering from losing that second round. I mean, that first gun round after losing or getting ecoed is really important, because that's different from Stony Brook running away with this game and getting to a 5-1 score or the 3-2 lead that you see right here.
And I want to highlight this time, Tulp, last game with the AWP was a monster, and can he do it again? Finally gets his hand on that AWP.
On the T side, it's going to be a little bit more limited, but nonetheless, he did actually have a really good round coming out from the apartments on Mirage to get a couple entry frags, and that was obviously the round to close out the map.
Just players for Duke across the board just marking all of these positions that they potentially might go to. They're predicting a little bit of a push onto B, throwing a 3rd member onto that B site. And Stony Brook throwing some flashes, seeing if, trying to prod out and convince that it might be a B site, but 4 members in A long suggests otherwise, and Stanklord slowly moving in, seeing if he can get that first entry frag, but grenades coming out, smoke comes out.
Not going to be a good smoke, so Stank swings through it. Will find the headshot onto Shocker. Stank taking more space towards the back of sight. Now he has a little bit of oversight towards Farg on the other side, but instead it will be Digimon to take him down, who swings out for another one and gets it onto Bucket. Small Rat finally trying to make a difference for his team, but Talp with the op on site with the post plant is going to be more than enough for the Stony Brook Seawolves to close out this round and double the lead of JMU once more. Franks is left to save, but he's getting chased down by Mabel Weston, and headshot will finish it off.
And
Chris, it was another A play. and it was another successful A play.
Right.
Stony Brook has been doing this a lot so far. Obviously, think back to the first 2 rounds where complete rushes coming out. Does it make you think that the Duke should start stacking that site a little bit more?
I mean, definitely, but it's not as easy as it seems. Because definitely, it might be one of those like it's. Think of it more like a rock paper scissors game. There might be a little bit of reverse psychology. Maybe this time they won't go A, and so now, I mean, I kind of just liked what the Dukes were doing before, marking and keeping 2 people mid, but now this time, Dukes kind of
A
pushing.
Nova coming out from JMU. That's kind of rare. I don't think I've ever seen a Nova in competitive play before, at least not in a serious game.
Right, right. And honestly, personally, I'm a big fan of the Nova. I like to call it my little blunderbuss. It's, I mean, it's definitely it's a shotgun. It's a shotgun. How else am I gonna put it? It's wildly inconsistent, but if you hit your shot at close range, it's a one tap.
Nonetheless, Digimon starting off this eco round on the right foot will be swinging in around this pillar. Stony Brook getting the entries necessary to get the plant down. Digimon with a second headshot, and the rotates are coming out from JMU, trying to make this at all interesting, but realistically, with an MP9 Nova and P250, they're not going to be able to do anything. Stanklord is proving me right, as the MP9 does find one before falling to Mabel Western, and there goes the P250 to a jumping smoke headshot.
They get 1 frag back in return, but otherwise, the Seawolves' economy is untouched. However, I mean, at the same time, the Dukes, that was the point of the eco. Try to get some money, or just keep buying pistols to get back those guns. And 5 M4A1Ss coming out, personally. I like the M4A1S other than the M4A1.
Is it because you can't spray?
It's because I can't spray.
No, it's good you're honest, Chris.
I just also like the sound of the silencer a little bit more as well.
That's fair.
But
That's fair. No tracers is obviously a benefit through the smoke, but obviously, well, I mean, now in CS2, you don't get the tracers through the smoke and you don't make holes in the smoke, but I got to hold that thought as Mabel Western finds an immediate frag and an entry to make it as well. Mabel Western still holding W into the A site. Like I've said, they've cracked it open so many times. Digimon finds Shocker at range, knows there's another one close and gets that one as well. Going back towards the mid, swinging out for another fight, and he'll get a 3K on the round. Digimon looking for the 4th onto Franks. He can smell him. He can feel him out. Not going to get the kill, so it's a 2-on-1 for Stony Brook. But Franks is so damn low now that he realistically can't attempt a 2-on-1 with top on the op as well. I mean, what can he realistically do with a minute left?
And what was crazy to me was that, the Seawolves, they just pressed a full front line up into each site, each part of the map, on mid and A site, and they just left bomb all the way behind and just said, all right, you guys cook. And they cooked. And so now it's a 2v1. What can DeFranks do other than maybe find out 1 or 2?
It looks like he's just going for some exit kills right now. I really wouldn't expect him to get any closer because at this point, the bomb is so far gone that he just has to be worried about dying to the explosion.
Yeah, and he's tagged 19 and only 19 health left. Gets touched a little bit within that range, and he's gone, done for.
Will be a save, so Stony Brook up to 6-2, really running away with this round.
Question is,
excuse me, with this half.
I mean, of course, it's rock in a hard place, but you're still down a lot of money. So what can the Dukes do? What do they choose to go for? Do they full buy or do they just eco? And so they decide to just pass around the M4A1S, buy a Deagle, buy a MP9. This is looking like a little bit of a.
It's a half buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're not spending below about 22,000 is about the average. One person going down to 200, so they definitely will be looking for some impact in this round. But hey, that's a good start off onto Stanklord through the smoke. Exactly what you need in a round like this.
Yeah, and if anything, if you just hit your shots, a Nova is as good as a op.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
If you hit the right shots. Lucky gets tagged by 7 through the smoke, and there's 3 people on B. Seawolves kind of recalibrating, regrouping back to that A site, and you gotta think, how many times will the Seawolves do it, and how many times will they get away with it?
Top going for a big flick through the wall. He's hit a couple of shots like that, finding it onto Shocker. He's entering again with this off. Looking into sight, will find another one. Teammate to back him up, and Top would have honestly had it onto Bucket as well. Stony Brook 3-on-2. They're definitely erasing that entry frag coming out from JMU, and they will get the plant down as well. So Top now into just sight holding.
With an op.
Yeah.
Which is one of the scariest things that can happen. It's a 3v2 at the current moment. DeFranks gets fragged at, gets killed.
Small Red on the MP9, fighting a lot of cash so far and dropping it into a one-on-one. Mabel Weston will find him as he looks to pick up another weapon and find the op for one Top. Stony Brook up 7-2. I mean, this is getting close to a blow at this point.
Yep, and the op gets saved crucially, so that's not $5,000 out of the pocket of the Seawolves. And the Seawolves being able to buy all of their guns, but on this, but likewise, the Dukes managed to frag 4 and get some money for their own. And so it's full buy versus full buy. What can the Dukes do in one of the ending rounds of this match?
A nice flick from Top to start it off. Farg will find one of his own with the op, so ops ringing on both sides.
Like shots going at it. Top picks up the bomb as he starts rotating towards B.
Lucky going for a big peek, and he'll find the pick over onto Small Red. B play coming out so far, and Franks is denying it. Finds 2 and smacks them both down. Interesting round coming out now, but Digimon is no longer going to make it interesting and put Top into a 1-on-3. If there's anyone from the Seawolves so far this series, you want it to be Top, but with the op, it's just so hard to clear out all these corners. Is working up mid. It is the right place to go, as no one will contest him for a while, not at least until he gets far into a sight.
I see what magic that man can work with the flick of a wrist. We will see how he goes. I mean, he has gotten those 4Ks just by entry fragging, and if he has the confidence to keep on going with that, he makes his way towards the B site.
Some interesting timing could come out right here. Franks is not in a position to find this frag. Top's waiting for it, and then he pulls the trigger. Into a 2-on-1, 40 seconds left. Both players know where he is, and he does not know where they are coming from. Franks.
He doesn't know that he might be
Top,
coming
he has
from
to
behind
turn
him.
around. Now here's the scope, I think, from Farg coming out. Really pressed on time, looking for another peek, and the flick. Farg coming out close, has to go for the no-scope, is going to miss it, and the USP will reign supreme. A needed round for JMU, and they make it 3-7.
And just, we thought he can do it, but of course it's just wrong weaponry at the wrong time. It's just unfortunate because he could have made it work. He got that pick and it became a 1v2, but unfortunately the op is just not the best in close combat, and so misses, and gets shot out. But at the same time, look at the weapons that Seawolves have.
I mean, but look at the money, Chris. This round is so important for both of these teams, as winner of this is going to reset the other.
Yep. And DeFranks seeing if he can get a little bit of pick through the smoke. We've seen Lucky get a few shots in. You know, there's nice entry frags from both sides through the smoke here at this B site. And the Seawolves kind of positioning themselves a little bit more mid with some
Flash
larger
coming from
B.
Stanklord. He'll activate off of that, getting into this connector area onto the B site. Lucky, he's found some picks lurking into B exactly like this, and he'll get another one. Small Red just not expecting this straight-up aggression coming out from Lucky. He'll double it up with a headshot. Now Stony Brook's onto site, 5-on-3. Digimon pushing a smoke as well. Will find an Opera reloading in Farg. Digimon still going for another shot, and the Seawolves are exploding onto this site. Mabel Western, do you have it in you for another fight? And Bucket pulls it a little bit closer now to a 3-on-2. Maybe a little bit of over-aggression coming out from Stony Brook.
Yeah, and some great entry frags coming out from Lucky. But can they close out this last round? I mean,
Bucket, he's going forward, knows where one is. Shocker coming forward with him. Will go for the tap immediately, trying to bait out Top. Will have his teammate swing out instead, and both of them get dropped. It's just a stick coming out. Stony Brook, can you get there in time? And Stanklord finds it, gets the last 2 kills necessary, and the Seawolves will go 8-3.
And it looked dicey there near at the end, but that is the last round of the half, and both sides switch sides.
No, this is the last round.
Oh, this is
This is the last round.
well, then you just see like the mentions that Kevin just had before in terms of resetting the economy across the board.
Actually, both are not in the greatest position because of how low it went. Stony Brook's still a little bit better, obviously having that op coming out from Talp. It's going to be a lot about if these rifles can find the SMGs coming out from both sides. The Galil, not great, but considering no head armor on 2 people, it is the same as an AK.
I'm just a little bit confused. The Dukes, the guy's just sitting on $2,450, but frags coming out from both sides.
Dropping into a 4-on-4 with 1:30 left. And Chris, I agree with you. No reason to hold on to that money. And Digimon is making a big difference alongside Mabel Weston. And Stony Brook now just pinching in from every side of the map. Small Rad seems like he can know that there's players all around him, but he's losing his teammates all around him into a 1-on-4. Digimon will find the 4th in the round. The Seawolves, hey, pick where you want to go. You can go A site, you can go B site, you can go wherever the hell you want. It's a free vacation.
Yeah, and a fiesta across the board. There was just so many disorganized gunfights just everywhere on the map. CTs being near T side and T side, T's being near CT. And so now they decide, okay, we're just, and that's the last frag of the half.
Mabel Weston, headshot to end it on a extremely weird round considering where everyone ended up. And now we do switch sides. Stony Brook up 9-3. And realistically, if they get their first pistol of this series, they will close it out pretty much.
Yep, and it's just real quick. I want to take a look at the stat board, just seeing how well my boy Coach Chris is doing. I mean, he's had a fantastic showing, doing numbers across the board. And you
5 and 8, so he's a little bit negative, but Digimon and Mabel Weston more than making up for it. I mean, they've been the big difference makers, headshot after headshot, but they got to get it done in the pistol round right now, and it's going to be a quick B play coming out. Stony Brook playing retake towards that site, so they will seed the plant, and it's instant rotates coming out. Got to note that there is a kit in play, so they can have that 5-second defusal time. Looking to where these smokes will come out. Small Rad will start it off. That is important as JMU is into the 5-on-4. Small Rad following it up. Shocker with another headshot before Digimon responds. One top coming in with the dual Berettas, just spamming through that smoke, getting as many shots down range as he can. But one top is left all by himself, getting swarmed by the Dukes. Looking for a little bit more headshots into a 2-on-1. It is doable, but he has to reload as the guns go dry. Working his way forward onto Franks now, catches him out in the middle of the air, and Bucket will find him. Finally winning the round for the Dukes. They go 4 for 4 on every pistol round so far. Now they need to convert on this second.
Yeah, and I've just been noticing a trend in this series. These dualies have been mowing people down. Dualies, not traditionally the best pistol, but
they've been getting a lot of play recently in the pros for, I want to say, at least the better part of a year and a half.
Yeah, and just a little bit of banter on the bottom, talking about how they're goated for real, and 4 rounds. Eco merchants, Coach Chris calling them eco merchants. A little bit.
That's crazy.
I know. But now you just see the Seawolves in eco, and then on the other side, Galils and AKs across the board. An entry frag coming out from DeFranks. One Farg getting killed, and Talp get a nice pistol kill onto the Dukes, and the Bucket seeing he can get one Galil, spraying and praying, dies, and then
it's somehow into a 1-on-1. I have no idea how Stony Brook have dropped it this low. One top has it all to do with only 7 HP. Looking for a very long flank. I mean, realistically, this is the only way he wins the round. A minute left to go, and it's very, very respectful play coming out from Franks. But now with the AK in hand, One Top has that one-tap potential. The maneuvering coming out from both of these players is going to be so critical as One Top. I think he has it. I think he solved it. I think he has Franks in the palm of his hands. Franks going a little bit further away. Tall for the spray. Will get him a little bit lower, but now he's given up his position and giving up so much of the advantage he had in the round. Running over to A instantly. He has a great read onto Franks, who's going to the same exact spot. Franks should have enough time to get this plant down and go for a strong position. The question is does he think that Tops will go for the chase after him or come in from the CT or from the T side like he has? Top, once again, coming in slow. You got to remember that this round started off with 5 USPs for Stony Brook, and now they're in a one-on-one with an AK against a Galil. Top coming in, trading positions with Franks, now onto the bomb, has a smoke as well, will throw it out. No kit, he has a 10-second defuse in ahead of him, and it's going to be Franks coming out from the other side, not expecting it. Tops, you did everything you possibly could and made that round so interesting, but nonetheless, JMU picks it up.
But on the likewise, that is probably one of the best ways an eco round can go. You make the opponent buy as many guns, have to buy more guns, and on the likewise, you get some good money off of pistol kills. And so one Top back on his op, and across the board, guns being brought and grenades being brought for the Seawolves and the Dukes alike. So we have our kind of nice gun round in play here. How will the Dukes attack onto this A site or B site? We will see. The Seawolves have 3 people on B, kind of watching, seeing if this push really works out. Lucky marking the entrance, spraying through a little bit. He tags to Frankie a little bit.
Down to 50. That's good damage to come out.
Good damage. And Lucky just kind of watching, waiting, and Seawolves being very patient here, even though they know that they're marking, because at any moment the Dukes can move out. But
they're on the B side. They are ready for this hit. That's probably going to come out in the next couple of seconds. Clock going down to a minute.
And Digimon waiting in that corner.
And Top will start it off with the op. Got to remember, he got so much money from last round, but the Duke's still exploding anyways. Top, can you do it with the op? Finds 3 to drop it into a 2-on-2, and his other 2 teammates are coming from A, so it is a retake. A little bit of utility remaining on Far. He's going to throw the Molotov out right away. That will keep Stanklord at bay for a little bit. His teammates coming in from T-spawn, but Farg will get aggressive behind the Molotov and find a headshot onto Stanklord. Mabel Weston, do you have it in you for the 2-on-1? We saw Top coming in from this exact angle last time, but no kit realistically means that this round is a little too far gone. Top has done heroics round after round, but the Seawolves are still getting pinched, losing the first 3 rounds of this half, and it is going to be 9-6 with the bomb.
Maybe Western maybe gets the final kill here, but he gets tagged, and that makes a full, just full death, all deaths coming out from the Seawolves. Not looking good for their economy. Probably have to eco here. And the Dukes kind of, riding this momentum, winning all of the games, the rounds in this half, just kind of taking it a little slow, and then they kind of squeeze like shooting fish in a barrel, coming in, rushing in, and spilling onto the B site. And so now now the Seawolves have this read where it's just 2 onto B site, kind of watching, and one great frag coming out from DeFranks, headshot up to Lucky.
Zantaris P coming out from him as he was just moving the entire time.
And another frag coming out from Farg. DeFranks moves in, gets sniped out by Digimon. Nice frag there. Digimon seeing if he can grab that AK for, and finally have some firepower in this round. And so now, what will the Dukes do? Will they rotate?
Have a lot of players going over towards mid right now. And he has to be the focal point for this round. I say that as Top finds the one with his Deagle for a second as well. He's making it sing as well as he can. 3-on-2 Stony Brook. I don't know how they keep getting away with this on these kinds of buys. They don't have anyone towards B, which is where JMU is leaning right now. Bucket looking for the point of entry. Stony Brook really, really convinced that it is going to be A, but as they clear it out, they got to start going back towards that B site. And Top, I've said his name so many times, but he's, again, just so good on this second half, so good with the op in his hands. But this time, the Seawolves are down to 30 seconds, 3-on-2 still there, 2 AKs up against an AK and a Galil. And you got to remember that Deagle is still there for the Seawolves. Now the B hit coming in. Mabel Weston in a good position to go for a 1 kill onto the planter. He is in a one-and-done position. A Shocker might clear out his position first. JMU getting onto site. No drama just yet, but there it is. The frag from Mabel Weston coming out, and he's the difference maker in this round. Top spraying through the smoke. The gun goes dry, and Bucket will be dropped by Mabel Weston, swinging in with the AK. Stony Brook keep 3 alive in a round that they were ecoing, and again, it's the ecos that make the difference.
And how do they keep on getting away with these? I mean, of course, it's making those shots work and making that Deagle sing, but that's just not something you want to see if if you're the Dukes, because you know that you were supposed to win that round, even if you lost a few people, and so now it's complete. It's almost completely flipped. A kind of a half buy coming out from the Dukes with what little money they're remaining. But we talked about that match point situation coming up, and you know the Dukes will only have a few more rounds that they can spare in terms of economy, and so right now the Seawolves kind of placing themselves a little bit of default, you know, just kind of naturally, one mid, two B, two A, kind of really standard. And the Dukes kind of seeing if the Seawolves can make any mistakes for going mid.
Maybe Western will start it off, but gets instantly traded out by a Tech 9, so that is a good start for JMU with limited weapons in this round. You also got to look at that economy. If JMU lose this, it really ain't looking good as Stony Brook is quickly approaching a map match and series point.
And they're watching them. They're cornering them in the mid. They smoked off one area and they fired up the other. So now JMU is just kind of sticking around mid, kind of a little bit sandwiched. They don't
Lucky
really...
in a very aggressive position considering how low he is. Will fall off now, and Bucket's going back out to clear it.
Yeah, and they leave one person at the back of mid, JMU does, and JMU decides to see if they can drop down, start moving towards that A-long area, but there's a flank, but Shocker finds the flank out.
Stanklord needs to hold this site. Finding the first two required. There's one more going to follow it up, but he's already dropped the bomb. Stanklord for another one, turning around, looking for the final, and he gets it. 4K for Stanklord, and he shuts it down coming out from JMU. 11-6, the Seawolves are 1 round away from being 1 round away.
And of course, like, it's just the Connect 4 coming out from Stanklord's heroics across the board from the individual members. This series just seems to be tied on just great plays out of just great mechanical plays across the board in favor for the Seawolves. 2 rounds away from that final match point to end the series. What can the Dukes do to finally keep it going? And now they're just in a hard place. They have 4 Deagles trying to see if they can get 1 or 2 more picks, storm and weather out the 7 rounds that they will have to win this series and maybe continue it, to continue the series.
Will be 4 Deagles to start it off, so not exactly the best buy. And again, it's that question of, will you save this round to go for that streak that you were talking about? And Lucky's telling them, you're going to have to go for the streak. He starts it off with 2 headshots, and Mabel Weston getting a little bit aggressive towards mid, looking towards that the river side of the map, finds it out. Mabel Weston still just W-keying forward, not going to clear this corner, will likely go down, and it's quick 2 frags from Farg, making it a little interesting as he drops into a 1-on-3 with a greater weapon now, looking for the spray, but one top. Who else but one top with the headshot on the AK. Stony Brook up to 12 rounds, 1 more from winning it, and we will have fittingly a gun round to potentially end.
And once Stony Brook saw that the Dukes were ecoing, sharks smelling blood, just surrounding them, crowding them down at T sites, and then gunning them out eventually. Mabel Wenser saying on the bottom left, saying that they didn't even know that was a corner. Farg saying that he didn't either. Nice little interaction.
I think Farg did, considering he was sitting there. But nonetheless, we get into potentially the last round. It's going to be some quick aggression coming out towards A. Lucky, do you have it in you? Finds the first. Will get swung on a second time. Stanklord towards the mid. Will pick up another kill, and the Seawolves are already into a 5-on-3. Digimon trying to get aggressive. Will get taken down, and Farg found another one as well. So now Stony Brook overplaying their hand, and will have to claw it back. It's one top making his way towards B. He will be the first one there. Might push this smoke, and if he does, he could catch a very good timing onto the planter. Looks to spray down one. Gets Farg, excuse me, before Top gets dropped himself. And now Stanklord with the op. They know he was playing over towards this A site. I don't see how he gets back into this, but nonetheless, crazier things have happened.
Yeah, and Stanklord with that op, kind of just opting to save in this round because, you know, like, they still have 7 rounds they could lose. And this is the match point scenario that we were talking about a few rounds earlier. You know, the Seawolves can consistently max out their loss bonus over 2 times.
Important kill, missed by Stanklord. Op could be picked off by Shocker. It really shouldn't be too impactful on the CT side, but you got to mention, no op going into the next round. You're realistically not going to want to buy that coming again. And the money still there. You got to mention, still there for the Dukes. It could have been a lot worse if they lost that one more gun there. It really would have been a bad buy, and now it's a bad buy for the Seawolves.
You can see the money just kind of switching in between both. Um, they decide, okay, let's just full buy outright the Seawolves, because trying to get those picks, destroying the economy early, even if they lose, if they get like 1 or 2 frags.
Hold that thought, Chris, as Digimon is pushing through that smoke. He hasn't found any contact yet, but there it is. Digimon finding one before 2 players on his team fall. Digimon still in that aggressive position, so could be looked to trade it out. Stanklord finds a player without his gun out, gets him down to 10 HP, but doesn't find the final kill, and a little bit of a grenade coming in late. Farg will find it onto Stanklord, getting revenge for his teammate. It's a 3-on-2, and it's just chaos across the map. Last 2 players over towards this B site, and Bomb isn't in the hands of anyone either. Digimon going forward, a little bit of oversight from one top, and he'll look back towards the A side of things. Digimon, I don't feel like he's comfortable in this position, but somehow he's staying here.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's counting on Tal being able to use that op in that long corridor. But, I mean, the Dukes, they just decide.
They are going to the right site, but here comes Digimon swinging in. He drops the bomb as well. Digimon, you got to get your gun back out, and it will be picked up by Farg. Crucially, 2-on-2 for the series. Digimon should know now that the bomb is no longer there, and will work his way back onto the A site. Smoked off, top the other one coming in with the operator. Not exactly a good place to be coming in from. Farg exactly behind this smoke. Digimon needs to clear it out. This smoke fading could decide the entire makeup of this round. Top coming in. He's so good at clearing these corners. And Digimon finds it. Top will find the next kill, so it's Bucket against Digimon.
It's a 1v1 on the last
Tapping
round.
the bomb. Trying to bait out the peak. Digimon looking for it, and he'll find the headshot. Bucket dropped, but not enough time. It's the kit that bites them in the end, Chris, and Digimon will pick up the op to make it 12-8.
But now this is just a great scenario for the Seawolves. They just have to close it out. They kind of hurt the eco of the Dukes, but the Dukes.
It's the bomb. It's the bomb money that makes the difference. They'll still get full AKs coming into this in Stony Brook, with nothing to show on the other side. And you were talking about the amount of rounds necessary to get back to a 12-12. Well, this is how it starts. You get those first couple of going, and all of a sudden it's broken buys and half buys for the Seawolves, and that's how that round leads gets closed so quickly.
But never count them out. The Seawolves and a frag coming out from DeFranks. Stanklord countering with his op. And Shocker, another frag coming out as chaos ensues. But, I mean, all 3 Seawolves are on that B site.
Op still alive for Stanklord. You got to imagine the rotate's going to come out.
And seeing how it was a half buy coming out for the Seawolves, you see the 2 pistols and an op, 2 flashes, one already used. They don't have too many utility, but at the same time, they're picking up guns across the map.
It's now an op and an AK, so we've seen crazier rounds won from Stony Brook, but considering that this bomb is going to go down and they don't have a kit and they have to run through this player in mid who's entrenched right there, Farg, the guy that I'm talking about, will have this flank coming out onto Stony Brook and is calming all of this information over to his team. It should be a done deal, and I would wonder if Stony Brook is going to consider saving as they do pull up and just hold their spots in mid.
Yeah, and like you said before, it's just kind of piecing together each round, step by step, making sure that the economy works out. And a kind of last little molly just to make sure that this isn't really happening. The Seawolves, Digimon with a deagle says, I don't have any guns. I'm gonna see if I can get a frag.
A little bit of damage, but doesn't find any real damage.
Right, and Stanklord in a position to get a nice pick, gets one. So gets one nice little consolation prize at the end, but still, it is a round. And there's 3 more rounds that the Dukes have to piece together to maybe go into overtime. And it's getting really close, actually. Clawing together these pieces, but I mean, likewise, last game, we also said that they might be coming back. But Stony Brook, full buys,
They can slam the door right now.
and make sure that this just works out. And like you said, it's just kind of eventually they'll just haul themselves over the finish line. So the Dukes kind of just positioning, poising, seeing if they could get any frags. Stony Brook, 3 on B, kind of calling out once again, maybe that B-oriented push. Spraying through the smoke is the Franks. Kind of watching, seeing if that they could get any information, if any.
Flash coming out from Franks. He's just trying to sell as much presence as possible. Stony Brook do seem keen to bite on it, and it's going to be Digimon going down first to Small Rat over towards mid. Looks like it will be a B play coming out as frags keep going down around the board. Mabel Weston being a difference maker so far. Can he find anything else? But Shocker will take him down. It's another 2-on-3 and another retake for Stony Brook. Do they realistically want to go for this considering they've been so unsuccessful? Stanklord had a moment of opportunity onto Shocker but doesn't convert it, and Bucket will take him down. Stanklord not able to find it, and Stony Brook 12-10, just 2 rounds away now, and they're on to another save.
And the Dukes, this is a huge change in momentum. Just completely just riding this wave, win after win after win after win, to just keep on getting back one step at a time, and they clutch up when it matters. Multiple bodies on that B site. Even if Stony Brook had 3 bodies on B, that initial momentum coming in, and now just kind of very small buys coming out from Stony Brook, seeing if they could get a pick or 2.
Franks finds the first one on the operator, looking for another shot, not going to find it onto not on the Seawolves. Mabel Weston swings out. That's a big kill. Could potentially come for a trade from Lucky, but Farg is there as the release valve, and now it's all up to top. It does find a couple of body taps, will drop into water, and instantly dies. 12-11, Chris. They fought back all the way, and this one's for all the marbles.
Yep. And it's just to see if how this will end up. Stony Brook doing that small buy so they can have these M4A1s and an op in this round. Can they make it work? We will see. I mean, what do you want to see out of the Dukes, and what do you want to see out of the Seawolves?
I think Stony Brook don't have to get over-aggressive, and I think they should look to hold the sites like they have been. And if they have to retake, if they absolutely have to retake, they have to go as a unit and do it with utility. If you need to seed the site, you seed the site. But it's been these odd man retakes that have been really the bane of them. And again, staying on the aggressive side has allowed JMU to just find these opening frags onto site, which has created, obviously, the odd man retakes.
And now, the same structure coming out from Seawolves again and again and again. 3 people on that B site, 1 watching mid, 1 watching A. And
Digimon has been very aggressive on his B holds. And like I said, staying a little bit more passive right now. Franks has been the difference maker entering onto the B site. He's been the one peering in first time, every time. And this time, Stony Brook, they seem like they got the right read. They seem like they know that this is going to be a B hit, and that everyone is just going to lay out on this final take.
Top in the corner with his op, watching through that smoke. But Digimon, once again, like you said,
getting the Molotov off, that is huge. Top finds the first one through the smoke. Digimon will follow it up onto Farg and then falls back deeper into sight. Mabel Western for 1, and the Seawolves do it just like that. 5 kills, 5-0 in the round, and they will take the map, and they will take the series, improving to 5-1 on the year. Another 2-0. But you got to say, outside of Fisher, that was the closest map that they've played all year. So got to tip your hats to JMU for being able to pull something like that off. And with that being said, Chris, we got an interview coming up. So obviously I will step aside. And who do you want to get? I think Top probably is the most deserving of an interview after the performance that he's put up.
You know, I was thinking Top, but I was also thinking at the same time, you know, you don't usually get a coach playing for their team.
You know what? I like that. I like that. Good
So,
idea.
As I would like to maybe call up my fellow Chris, you know, Coach Chris coming in.
Some Chris on Chris interview coming up. We will obviously get Chris, the coach, and in this moment, a player. Didn't exactly light up the scoreboards, but he did what was needed of him. And did realistically what it was expected of him.
Right, and in those moments, like that Stony Brook is expected to win. So as long as he doesn't sandbag too much, things work out. Which he did. Overall, it led to a 2-0 Stony Brook victory.
Yep.
Not in the way that we thought it would happen, but at the same time, the scoreboards is always it's the end goal. So
Yeah. And I will step aside for that interview, Chris, with Chris, the coach Lucky of the Stony Brook CS2 team, coming right up after this short break. Thank you so much for watching, and that will do it for me.
welcome back to the show. I'm Chris here with Coach Chris as a fellow Chris.
Yes.
Welcome and
Th-
congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
A great 2-0 win. Kind of in a little bit unexpected way. Both rounds the Dukes seem to be coming back. As a coach, how does it feel to kind of see those things happen in game while playing?
Yeah, I mean, we were kind of, especially a little bit on the Anubis one. I think it was 12, maybe 7. We were like, all right, we had made some silly plays, and then we kind of realized like 12-11, like, well, 12-10, we were like, okay, we're gonna eco this round, and then 12-11, we were just no, we were gonna win. We just kind of knew what they were doing. We stopped messing around. just kind of played slow, moved Donovan at one top to op on B side because they would kind of just do whatever. They weren't doing anything; they were just doing stuff. They're like, all right, let's just take care of these guys, and then that's what we did. But shout out the boys, man! Shout out the boys.
Right,
They're doing
right.
great.
How did it feel coming into this game, and especially taking place of the players? Have you been? Are you rusty? Have you been playing recently?
Uh, it was funny because I was playing a lot over the summer, and then we stopped playing kind of recently, mainly because of school. At least I did. So that wasn't great, but I was feeling fine. I felt okay in the when we were just doing warmers. I won our big Rocket League game beforehand. Of course, we have to get the warm-up Rocket League in. It's a huge tradition of ours. We won that easily, by the way. So we were pretty much ready to go.
Okay, and last note is now you're 5-1.
Yes.
You are tied currently in the first seed. So how does that feel?
Pretty great. I know the rest of them aren't so happy about Fisher, but they played the game they played, and although they agreed they should have lost, they definitely thought that they did fine, and that they could definitely probably at least take a map, which is definitely good. And even if they don't take, even if they don't win the rest of the regular season against them, because they are very confident they'll beat every team. It's just Fisher. That's what playoffs are for. So I think at this point it's just win the rest of the game. Should be easy. Try not to forfeit. Maybe the coach might have to step in a few more times throughout the year, but with all that, I think it'll just be study up and for playoffs, see exactly what Fisher's doing, maybe work on the map pool a little bit, but definitely should be fine once playoff comes.
Okay, so another 2-0 win coming out from the Seawolves. A great way to end the day. Another match will be coming up next week.
Yes.
And likewise, it's been me, Caster Chris, with Coach Chris.
Yes. Thank you.
And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.